Well, you mentioned the new album, which is out today. This is the Girls' Time album, I guess.
Yeah, the Girls' Time album. And this album was done in 1992. Beyonce would have been 11 years old. And it was really pretty much Beyonce, Tamar Ashley Davis, who I just talked about, who was signed to Prince, and Kelly Rowland. Latavia, we have to remember, was a dancer at that point. She was a member of Girls' Time, but she was not a vocalist or rapper. She was a dancer primarily. And again, people don't get all the information correctly. But it's 16 songs and two singles on the song, Sunshine, still relevant today. That song is being played, actually. We service radio. And then a remake of Michael Jackson, I Want to Be Where You Are, and other songs.
Well, yeah, I guess that time frame kind of makes sense because when I was listening to it, it kind of had like a New Jack Swing kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it did. Actually, the producer studied under Teddy Riley, so you were absolutely correct. Preston Middleton did the I Want to Be Where You Are, and that was a protege of Teddy Riley. Makes sense. You got it right, man.
I got it right. I've been doing music long enough to to catch some of these waves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting album. How did the other group members feel about this older piece of work coming out at this time?
Well, I thought you were going to ask me how did all the group members feel, and I was going to say I'm not sure how all 30 of them felt. So, boy, I'm glad you didn't say it that way. Michelle wasn't even in the group, so it would not even be appropriate for Michelle to feel any kind of way, right?
Yeah. Well, Beyonce and Kelly, how do they feel about this project coming
Well,
out now?
I'm proud to say that if you go to Tidal, that there is a whole feature on the front page of Tidal on this record. I think that should tell you how Beyonce feels about it.
All right, because she's a co-owner of Tidal. There you go. Well, Beyonce has gotten 23 Grammys and 70 nominations.
Should have got 24, but her team just didn't understand how to do it. Of those 24 Grammys, I think 21 of those she got while I managed her. And there's a strategy and skill in winning Grammys that I think maybe her team has learned now, but they didn't know then.
Well, I remember right around the time the Single Ladies came out, the music video, there was a whole VMA thing where Taylor Swift won, I guess, Music Video of the Year, and Kanye decided to go on stage and said, "Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm going to let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time." How did you feel about that particular moment as Beyonce's father?
Well, at that point, I was Beyonce's manager. So I say that because when I have my manager hat on, I don't think as a father because, again, I have a fiduciary duty for all of the members. And I'm in my strategy mode. I'm not in dad mode because father mode, you're getting emotional and you're making emotional decisions. Manager mode, you don't make emotional decisions. I was already sitting on the front row at the award, on the second row at the award. Then when it's time to go and perform or to speak, then that person gets up and I actually sat in his seat. And when I sat there, I looked up under and there was a fifth of liquor. I won't give the brand name credit because they didn't write me a check today, but it was empty. I just say it begins with Jack, like New Jack Swing. So I knew the condition this young man was in. And so I'm not sure he even remembered what he said. I'll just leave it at that.
You're telling me Kanye drank a fifth of Jack Daniels before he decided to storm the stage?
Exactly. And I know this for a fact because I sat in his seat and saw the bottle.
That is so crazy. But you know, the funny part about media, you know, when we talked about the whole media thing with your new book, is that I'll be honest, as a hip hop fan, that was really the first time I really heard of Taylor Swift. I understand that she was a big pop star and a big country star, but as a hip hop listener, I had heard of her, but I wasn't really familiar. And that really kind of put her on a global stage.
And I talk about this in my book. There's no such thing as bad press. And if you look at the graph, you're right again, Vlad. If you look at a graph on her career, it would be a spike that stayed and spiked even more because that actually, just like you said, put her in front of everyone. A negative did. So sometimes now, most people don't know this, sometimes negatives are planted by the label or management, sometimes even by the artist. Sometimes they're planted for those reasons.
Yeah, but I don't think that Kanye thing was planned.
Oh, no, that wasn't planted at all. No, that wasn't planted at all. Not at all.
I mean, do you think that Single Ladies was one of the greatest videos of all time?
I think it's one of them. They've made some great, Dustin Child made some great videos. Single Ladies and Beyonce has made some great videos. And that certainly is, I'd say, one of the top three greatest videos made.
Was that all one shot, one continuous shot the whole time?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
Okay, just kind of looked like it though.
Yeah. If you go to, I can tell you haven't read all the book, and you said that earlier, because the last chapter, a young lady named Jeanette Everett, who actually is credited for putting together the Beehive. She worked for me and actually was over the fan club, and she put together the Beehive. She was at the video shoot and had parked her car on the set and got in trouble. So it was multiple shoots, and she kind of confirms that it was multiple shoots. So you got to go to the last chapter to get that, Vlad.
Oh yeah, I mean the Beehive is a very interesting entity. I mean, I almost feel like this is like the first internet hive that really got into big numbers. And I've been attacked by the Beehive before. I think most recently, you know, we talked about Omarion. I did an interview with Omarion, and I asked him to name his top 4 male singers, like his Mount Rushmore of male singers, and then we did a Mount Rushmore of female singers. And as he's naming them, originally he forgot to add Beyonce to the list, so I brought up Beyonce, and she goes, oh yeah, okay, let me reshuffle my list and add Beyonce. Then I'm like, okay, what about Christina Aguilera? You know, she has a really powerful voice. And he goes, oh no, I like her, but you know, I'm gonna keep my top 4. And then I guess the Beehive had caught wind of this video, and I was just attacked for days. How are you going to mention Christina Aguilera? You know, and it was just like this big, huge thing. And it's just sort of interesting how publicity in 2019 includes these hives and this type of thing.